Good evening, this is TCN English News Edition, and you're watching with me, Ninghui Kim Kongsai. First, the headlines. TV news coverage on activist Ms. Sao's interview highlights Métis journalist biasness. Rejoinder issued. Tangkul Apex body condemns organizations of cultural festival by IPFM in collaborations with Manipur government. Tripura Congress accuses Modi of ignoring Manipur crisis, protecting Adani. News in detail. A social activist from the Kulki community, Hezang Misao, has issued a strong rejoinder to a report by NDTV, claiming that it misrepresented his remarks on the issues of separate administrations for the Kulki community. Misao clarified that his discussions on a local YouTube channel, Nampi Media, in Kulki dialect was deliberately distorted to defame him and the organization he is associated with. Misao explained that his statements on the YouTube channel were grounded in the harsh realities faced by the Kulki community. He highlighted the inability of Kulkis to access essential facilities such as the airport, hospitals, colleges, markets, and government offices in Imphal due to physical, geographical, and emotional separation. Babies are dying, pregnant mother lacks medical care, and patients with chronic illnesses are losing their lives because they cannot access medical facilities in Imphal. Development programs are not reached Kulki-dominated areas. In this context, Misao stated that separate administrations, as demanded by the Kulkis, appear to be a practical solutions for peace in Manipur. He emphasized that his comments were made in a personal capacity and not on behalf of any organizations. I have always condemned violence, Misao said, adding that he advocates for the separate administrations demand to be pursued as a public movement through democratic means such as rallies and peaceful protests. He cited the example of the Bodo public movement to illustrate his point. Misao also recalled being invited to Rashtrapati Bhavan by former President Ramnath Kovind, who appreciated his work under the Gantu Pen initiative, which focuses on promoting constitutional values and guiding youth towards becoming conscious citizens. Expressing dismay at the alleged twisting of his words, Misao accused certain elements of trying to stoke further unrest in Manipur and silence democratic voices. Those who misinterpret my words are the ones who want Manipur to remain in turmoil and oppose democratic solutions to the crisis, he said. He concluded by calling for peace and dignity for all citizens as enshrined in the Constitution, underscoring the urgent need to resolve the ongoing conflict in Manipur. The NDTV report was written by Métis journalist Debanis Achong, who is known for his biased reporting on the Manipur issue. Various media outlets have been regularly reporting on the current violence in Manipur, and most of the journalists reporting on Manipur Mahim highlights the causes behind the violence. The issues that continue to plague and flare up the current violence in a balanced and ethical manner of journalism. However, one glaring exception to this fair and ethical journalism has been the NDTV's reporting on Manipur violence. Almost all the NDTV news report on Manipur violence are always one-sided and in favor of the majority Métis. The media house does not waste any ink to point fingers at the Kulkis for any of the ills happening in Manipur. The main reason behind this biased reporting of NDTV is its main reporter, Debanis Achong, who belongs to Métis community. Other reporters from the other media outlets reporting on Manipur issues are carefully chosen by chief editors from neutral communities so as to have a value-neutral ground reporting. Even when the NDTV news of Manipur has been reported by other journalists, the concerned news is finally edited by Achong so that he can still inject his biased views in the final versions of the said news. The news reports are allegedly edited by Achong Meitei, the so-called Manipur expert recruited by NDTV, who specifically targets the Kulki community. For instance, A thorough analysis of the articles written or edited by Atom shows that he has no hesitations in directly naming the Kuki groups or village volunteers, but he prefers to use the terms armed group, village defense volunteers, unknown people, unidentified armed group, while describing the Meitei militant groups. Even when the Arambay Tingle were facing huge criticism from the media for the criminal activities during this ongoing civil war, Achom Meitei tried his best to valorize the unlawful organizations by calling them village defense volunteers and a layer of defense in the foothills. His news report lacked professionalism in the field of journalism and acts like paid journalism. In a solemn and intellectually charged atmosphere, scholars, book lovers, and concerned citizens gathered for the release of the book Report on the Manipur Violence, a historical contextualization of state-sponsored ethnic cleansing. The event, organized by Kuki Organizations for Human Rights Trust, KOHUR, took place amidst ongoing concerns over the violence that has gripped Manipur since May 3, 2023. The program began with a prayer by evangelist Hoi Zahling, setting a reflective tone for the event. And Totam, representing the Kuki MP Delhi, welcomed attendees and emphasized the importance of dispelling misinformation about the conflict, often perpetuated by those responsible for the violence. Retired Revenue Pautang Halkim, Bishop and Deputy Moderator of the Good Shepherd Church of India, invoked verses from the Book of Hebrews to inspire resilience. In his dedications prayer, he sought divine blessings for unity and strength in navigating the challenges facing the Kuki people. Benjamin Mate, chairman of KOHUR, introduced the book, outlining its critical analysis of the historical and political factors contributing to Manipur crisis. He stressed the report's role in countering narratives that have obscured the true nature of the violence, framing the work as a tool for justice and truth. Rajya Sabha MP from Mizoram, K. Vanlal Vena, attended as the chief guest. He spoke passionately about the shared cultural heritage of the tribes and the need for solidarity. He urged the community to view the crisis as an opportunity for unity, emphasizing the importance of tolerance and inclusivity. Highlighting the efforts in Mizoram, he called on the larger tribes in Manipur to adopt similar practices to strengthen ties within the community. Baljakop Goite, president of the Kuki Students Organization, expressed his gratitude to the contributors, particularly Benjamin Mate, for their unwavering dedications to the Kuki case. He lauded the publications of the treaties as a pivotal step toward exposing the truth and fostering unity among the affected communities. The event concluded with a closing prayer by evangelist Laiboy Singson, as attendees dispersed with copies of the book in hand, symbolizing their commitment to understanding and addressing the ongoing crisis. This book release marks a significant moment for the Kuki people, providing a platform for dialogue and a deeper understanding of the historical and political dynamics at play in Manipur. Congress author Manipur MP Alfred Author Kangam on Saturday questioned the government's handling of the situations in the northeastern state and sought to know from PM Narendra Modi why has he, till date, not been answerable to the people of the state. During a debate on the constitutions in Lok Sabha, he said, on May 3, 2023, I need not remind this House or these nations of what happened in Manipur, what has been happening in the last 19 months. Last time I spoke in this House, I had clearly stated that as a citizen of these nations and coming from a family which has contributed in building these nations, it is my right to ask for justice. Why is it till today that my PM, someone who these nations believes in, and I also wish to believe in, why has he till that not been answerable to the people of Manipur? Is it too much for me to ask? Those children, women across communities have lost their lives. They can't be victimized for a cause for which these nations or state can't handle. Is my nation so weak that you can't protect the lives and properties of civilians in Manipur? He said. I stressed that this is not a war against either party, be it the treasury or the opposition, and that it was a war against humanity. Appealing to members of treasury benches to stand up for the people of Manipur and bring justice to them, he said, please wake up. Speak to your people. How difficult is it for the nations which is going to become the third largest economy? You talk only of the economy. What will the economy do when there are no people? I ask the conscience of this house and the leadership of these nations. Stand up. Be with your brothers and sisters in Manipur and bring about justice and be accountable for all actions.
This country should hang its head in shame. Where was the Constitution on the 4th of December 2021 when my armed forces, special forces of the 21 Special Force Paras, they killed 6 civilians who had gone to work in coal mines. Coming back home, in the aftermath of that, another 8 more civilians were killed in Nagaland. What did this government do at that point of time? At least stand up in unison, condemning that. At least I expected our Raksha Mantri to have stood up and said that we owe responsibility.
Meanwhile, Manipur Congress MP Angomchai Bimol Akoijam walked out of the Lok Sabha just before the PM's speech as a protest against his response, or rather lack of response, on the Manipur crisis. Tangkhul Naga Long TNL, the highest civil body of Tangkhul community, has strongly decried the conduct of cultural exchange festival organized without the knowledge of tribal stakeholders by the so-called Indigenous Peoples Forum Manipur (IPFM) and organizations founded by self-styled leader Asang Kashar Tangkhul at Zadong village on Friday. In a statement issued on Saturday, Tangkhul Naga Long stated that it did not recognize the Indigenous Peoples Forum Manipur, and as such, and even organized by the forum under the leadership of Wungnau Sankashar, deserves strong condemnations by all. While strongly condemning the organizers for using the name of Naga community as participants during the so-called festival, the Tangkhul Apex body has warned that necessary actions would be initiated against Asang Kashar's Manipur Indigenous Peoples Forum. In the statement, the president of Tangkhul Naga Long, TNL Swerd Vashuk, has informed that stringent actions will be initiated against the organizations for poorly portraying the community's image at this crucial juncture. The 2-day cultural exchange festival, which was organized under the theme Manipur United by Diversity by the Forum in collaboration with Manipur Tourism Department, Government of Manipur, held between 13 to 14 December 2024 at Zadong Village, Kamjong District. 3 teenagers, including 2 from Bihar, were killed in 2 separate incidents in ethnic violence in Manipur on Saturday. In the first incident, an armed Meitei-Rambai Tingkol militant was killed, while 6 others were apprehended following an encounter with police commandos in Tobal district of the Imphal Valley in the morning hours. The police nabbed 7 persons following the incident. One of them, found injured, succumbed to his injuries at a private hospital later. He was identified as Laisram Prem alias Loktak Singh, 18 years. The police suspected the deceased and the others apprehended to be members of an insurgent group. The armed militants opened fire after the car they were traveling in was followed by the commandos, which led to the encounter. The police recovered a cache of arms and ammunition following the incident. At around 5:20 p.m., 2 teenage construction workers from Bihar's Gopalganj were shot dead by Meitei-Rambai Tingkol militants in Kakching district. The incident occurred on the Kakching-Wabagai road, where the victims were returning to their rented accommodations at Kakching Bazar riding bicycles. The two were rushed to a hospital by the police, but they succumbed to their injuries on the way, the local media reported. The deceased were identified as Sonalal Kumar and Dasarat Kumar, both aged 19 years. Meanwhile, Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh has announced an ex gratia of rupees 10 lakh each for the families of two migrant workers from Bihar, who were shot dead in Kaksing district on Sunday. The victims, identified as Dasarat Kumar, 17, and Sonalal Kumar, 18, from Raswahi village in Bihar's Gopalganj district, were killed while cycling home from their workplace. Biren Singh condemned the brutal killing and described it as an act of terrorism, expressing his condolences to the victims' families. He also raised concerns about the possibility of a larger conspiracy to destabilize the state and vowed to pursue a thorough investigation. We must stand together against these destructive forces, he said. The chief minister further mentioned that the case could be handed over to National Investigations Agency (NIA) if required. Meanwhile, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar also expressed grief over the incident and announced an ex gratia of rupees 2 lakh for his family. Kumar directed the State Social Welfare and Labor Department to ensure that families receive all the benefits available under existing welfare schemes. He also instructed officials to make arrangements for the bodies to be transported back to their native village in Bihar. The two workers were found with bullet wounds in Kairang, Manipur. Local police reported that they were attacked by unidentified and silenced while cycling home along National Highway 137A. Despite being rushed to a private hospital, both were declared dead on arrival. The motive behind the shooting is still unclear, and the police have launched an investigation. The Tripura Pradesh Congress Committee (TPCC) launched a scathing attack on the Narendra Modi-led government, accusing it of failing to address the communal tensions in Manipur that have left over 200 dead, thousands injured, and lakhs of people were displaced. As part of the All India Congress Committee's AICC nationwide Raj Bhavan Chalo campaign, the TPCC announced that it would march to Raj Bhavan in Tripura on December 18 to demand the restoration of peace in Manipur, actions on unemployment, and control over inflation. Addressing a press conference at the Congress Bhavan here in Agartala on Sunday, senior Congress leader and members of the TPCC media cell Partha Acharjee criticized Prime Minister Narendra Modi's handling of the Manipur crisis. When Manipur was burning with violence between the Kuki and Meitei communities, resulting in tragic incidents such as mass rapes, arson, and even a shameful naked parade of women, the Prime Minister was busy with elections campaigns in Karnataka and foreign tours, Acharjee stated. He added that Modi intervenes in global conflicts like the Russia-Ukraine war and the Israel-Hamas war, but failed to address the crisis in Manipur, a small state in his own country. He didn't even consider visiting the state, let alone making efforts to resolve the conflict. The fresh, Nero-fiddle while Rombert perfectly fits this indifference. In contrast, Rahul Gandhi visited Manipur, met the affected people, and heard their concerns. Similarly, TPCC spokesperson Prabir Chakraborty also lambasted the central government by stating that it prioritized army's place. The Modi government has no focus on tackling unemployment or controlling inflation. Instead, its primary goals, it seems to be selling corporate interests, particularly those of Adani. Even in parliament, any attempts by the opposition to raise these issues is met with disruptions to stifle debate. Chakraborty alleged, highlighting the relevance of the Manipur crisis to Congress demands. Chakraborty said the BJP government's inability to bring peace and harmony in Manipur reflects its failure in governance. Thousands remain displaced, and their struggles are a testament to government's apathy. The TPCC also drew attention to worsening conditions in Tripura. Prices of essential goods in Tripura are higher than in most states, and unemployment has reached record levels. While the BJP leadership accumulates wealth, lakhs of youths in Tripura suffer without any proper job opportunities. The Ras Bhavan Chalo campaigns will press for the two key demands, including the restoration of peace in conflict-hit states like Manipur and immediate actions to address rising unemployment and inflation, including Tripura. The protest, part of a nationwide initiative by the Congress, aims to hold the BJP-led government accountable for its alleged governance failures. Through this movement, the TPCC seeks to amplify voices from across the nations, with the Manipur crisis serving as a stark reminder of what the Congress termed as the central government's failure to uphold its responsibility. The Thoubal District Police and security officials under the supervision of the Additional Superintendent of Police (OPs) A.S. Devendra Singh carried out a successful operations on Saturday morning and apprehended 7 armed miscreants in Salungpam Maning Laikai. It was learned that based on reliable intelligence about the presence of armed individuals in the area, the operations involved teams led by Officer in Charge CDO Thoubal and a mobile unit of Golf 35 headed by H.T. Rakhumani Singh. According to police statement, at around 10:40 a.m., the police intercepted 2 suspicious vehicles, a blue Alto car without a registration number and a red A-Star ZZI bearing registration number MN06LB 8805 moving towards Wangzing. When signaled to stop for verifications, the vehicle sped away and opened fire at the police team. The police fired warning shots in response, and a brief chase of about 30 meters, the vehicles were stopped. 7 armed individuals got out of the cars and resisted, but the police swiftly overpowered them. Meanwhile, one of the miscreants, identified as Laisram Prem, also known as Loktak Singh, 18, of Thoubal Kunnao, sustained a bullet injury during the operation. He was rushed to hospital for medical treatment but later succumbed to his injuries. The other 6 were taken to Lilong Police Station. They were identified as Toktom Mamocha, also known as Suni 41, of Hayrok Parchu, Mayay Laikai. Sarangthem Anand Singh, also known as Malim 36 of Kakching Kunnao, Tampak Mayum Lai Laikai. Ningthozam Karna Singh, also known as Pisak 27 of Samarlam Mapi Laikai Maning Laibung. Ningthozam Manoranjan, also known as Kayembat 21 of Tinungai Ka Laikai. Thongam Palguni, also known as Urikpa 27 of Lamphel Sanakay Tel. And Moirang Tim Johnson, also known as Tona, 21 of Lamphel Gombiray. The police seized a large cache of arms and ammunition, including an Insas rifle 5.56 mm with serial number 18406998, RFI 2012, and AMOGS rifle 5.56 mm with serial number AA13311 and SF 2011, and SLR rifle 7.62 mm with serial number 180-57905, OFTIN 2007, and 303 rifle M1944 with serial number BS19343. They also confiscated 2 vehicles which were a red A-Star ZXI with registration number MN06LB 8805 and a blue Alto car without a registration number. 6 mobile handsets were also recovered, which included a black Poco handset, a light green Redmi 5G handset, a light blue Redmi 56 model 231 2DRAABI, another Redmi handset, an Itel keypad handset, and a Nokia keypad handset. Ten students from a coaching institute in Mahesnagar in Rajasthan, Jaipur were rushed to a hospital after they fainted due to a suspected gas leak from a nearby drain. The incident that occurred on Sunday evening triggered panic, with students complaining of severe headaches and difficulty in breathing. According to police, preliminary investigation suggests that gas leak may have originated from a drain near the institute. Smoke originating from the kitchen located on the terrace of the buildings is also being examined as a contributing factor. A doctor from a private hospital confirmed that 7 students were brought in with symptoms of suffocations and respiratory distress, while the remaining students were admitted to other medical facilities. The affected students reported coughing and breathlessness but are now in stable condition, the doctor said. Authorities have ruled out food poisoning as the cause, but the exact source of the gas leak is yet to be determined. Investigations are ongoing to establish accountability for the negligence that led to the incident. The situation sparked protests outside the coaching center, with locals and parents demanding answers and stricter safety measures. They raised their voice against the lapses, which are unacceptable, especially in educational spaces, meant to ensure the well-being of children. The police have assured a thorough probe into the incident and emphasized the importance of adhering to safety standards to prevent such occurrences in the future. Meanwhile, all hospitalized students are reported to be recovering. The incident has raised serious questions about the safety measures in the coaching center and its unchecked infrastructure issues. Further updates were awaited as officials continue their investigations. Nine students were severely injured in an LPG cylinder blast at a hostel in Madhya Pradesh, Mahganj on Saturday. The explosions, which caused significant damage, left 8 students aged 15 to 17 with severe injuries, and 1 tragically lost his leg in the incident. The blast has raised concern about safety measures in hostels. As authorities begin investigating the cause of the incident, according to information, an LPG cylinder exploded at a government-run hostel in Mahganj around 11 p.m. on Saturday. The blast occurred at a hostel for scheduled caste boys in Naigadi, which is nearly 40 kilometers far away from the district headquarters. Reportedly, during the explosions, 8 students and a cook were present at the spot. The explosions was so intense that 8 children and a cook were injured. Also, one of them even lost his leg. After the explosion, the injured were taken to a community health center in Naigadi, where first aid was given to them. Following that, the injured were referred to the Rewa for further medical investigations. Upon receiving information, the police reached the spot immediately and filed a case in the police stations. The police began the investigations at the spot. Further investigations are underway. Twelve individuals were killed in a catastrophe at the Godavari Sky Resort in Georgia, including 11 foreigners and 1 Georgian. All of the victims were discovered in a sleeping space in a restaurant on the 2nd level. According to preliminary findings, the deaths were brought on by carbon monoxide poisoning from a generator that was utilized in entire locations during a power outage. A tragedy at the Godavari Sky Resort in Georgia left 12 people dead. In an Indian restaurant at the resort, the remains of 11 foreigners and 1 Georgian were found. The Georgian Interior Ministry reports that all of the fatalities were discovered in the establishment's 2nd floor sleeping quarters. The victims are thought to have been restaurant staff. The body shows no indications of exterior assault. According to preliminary findings, using a generator during a power shortage is what killed the people. The day before the event, the generator, which was situated in a confined area next to the bed, was switched on. The inquiry is still under progress. The remains are being examined by forensic specialists who have arrived at the locations. In accordance with Article 116 of Georgia's Criminal Code, which addresses dates brought on by carelessness, police have opened a criminal prosecutions. Local police are questioning witnesses to the event. A forensic medical study has been ordered and investigations are still underway to ascertain the cause of death. The cause of death is still unknown. However, it may have been carbon monoxide poisoning from utilizing the generator in a limited space. The accident has sparked questions about the restored safety procedures. The safety precautions used to avoid similar catastrophes are being questioned, especially the usage of generators in enclosed areas. These issues, and if there was any criminal carelessness, will probably be clarified by the investigation's conclusion. To determine the exact circumstances leading to fatalities, the Georgian Interior Ministry is still collaborating with forensic experts. As the inquiry progresses, the public anticipates further developments. Close to 1,000 people may have been killed after Cyclone Chido hit Mayotte in the Indian Ocean, according to island's top official. Mayotte Prefect Francois Xavier Bilville told local TV, "I think there are several hundred dead. Maybe we'll get close to thousands, even thousands, given the violence of this event." However, he said it was currently extremely difficult to get an exact number. Emergency workers sent from France and the nearby French territory of Réunion are racing to find survivors and restore services due to forced cyclone to hit the island in nearly a century. France is using ships and military aircraft as part of its response. French civil security spokesperson Alexandre Zausreur told the France 2 news channel, "The next minutes and hours are very important. We are used to working in these conditions, and a few days later, you have pocket of survivors." Chido caused extensive damage on Saturday, with the nearby islands of Comoros and Madagascar also affected, and the cyclone has now hit Mozambique. Forecaster Meteo France said Chido was the strongest storm to hit the islands in more than 90 years. Winds of more than 124 mph, 200 km/h, ripped off of houses and destroyed numerous buildings. Mayotte is an impoverished overseas department of France and is spread over 2 main islands, about 500 miles, 805 km off Africa's east coast. President Emmanuel Macron said, "My thoughts are with our compatriots in Mayotte who have gone through the most horrific few hours and who have, for some, lost everything, lost their lives." Macron is due to hold an emergency meeting about the crisis at around 6 p.m. local time. It comes as the main airport and hospital suffered major damage in the cyclone, said new Prime Minister Francois Bayrou. He said many people living in precarious states in slum areas had been at serious risk from the cyclone. Video from the France Gendarmerie shows the wreckage of hundreds of makeshift houses littered across hills. Mohamed Ismail, who lives in Mayotte's capital, Mamoudzou, told Reuters news agency, "Honestly, what we are experiencing is a tragedy. You feel like you are in the aftermath of a nuclear war. I saw an entire neighborhood disappear. One hospital in Mayotte reported 9 people were in critical conditions and another 246 were injured." However, France's Interior Ministry said it was proving difficult to get a precise tally of casualties. Meanwhile, the cyclone has largely knocked out internet access on the island, which has been almost entirely offline for over 36 hours. The internet monitor added that connectivity is at around 16% of ordinary levels. Thank you for joining us tonight.